We are getting used to seeing Cal Raleigh hit the long ball. In fact, he's already had 50 in his career. Joining us now, Cal, we appreciate you taking the time before the fourth game of this four-game set between the Mariners and the Royals. You are the second fastest Mariner to hit 50 home runs in your career behind Alex Rodriguez. What does that power surge mean to you?
I think if you had told me that, last year or even this year, I don't think I would have believed you. So it's a pretty cool accomplishment, and it's kind of funny, hearing those kind of stats.
Why wouldn't you have believed me?
I don't know. Last year didn't get off to the greatest of starts, and even in 21, it was a tough go at it there for a little bit, but just staying with it and trying to continue to get better each day.
All right, last night's victory brought you guys within one game of that wild card spot there in the American League. I know Julio Rodriguez had 4 hits last night, said you guys are motivated. You know you still have work to do. What is that work, Cal?
Yeah, we have a goal to get to the postseason, try to win a World Series, and nothing's really changed. No matter what happens to the trade deadline, what our record may be. So we're trying to put together some good games right here. We've been playing some good ball in the second half and try to keep it going.
I feel like everybody else besides the AL West is cheering for the Mariners to get back in to the postseason. How do we know that 2022 wasn't a fluke, Cal, and that you guys deserve to be there back-to-back years?
Yeah, I think we played better ball as of late. It didn't get off to the best of starts this year. We had a lot of new faces come in, and we're trying to make it work, and just couldn't get traction early on. And we've like I said, been playing better ball, and we've been pitching the rock really great. We know we got the arms to do it, and pitching is the number one thing, especially when it comes to the postseason. And we have the arms, and try to get in, and I think we can make some noise.
Yeah, you mentioned pitching. We were just talking about that in our brushback, how key pitching is going down the stretch. And, of course, in the postseason, Kirby has been so lights out for you guys. What's been the most fun about watching him pitch this season?
Yeah, I think it's just, seeing him continue to get better each outing and, learn something new about himself. And, he was really good last year, and then he comes out this year and he's, continues to do it and, takes a step forward. And, I saw something yesterday where he's in the conversation for Cy Young, and I think he's definitely in that conversation. He's earned it, and I think we got 3 guys I saw that are top 5 in WHIP and in the big leagues, which is unheard of in one starting staff. So it's pretty cool. So.
Someone's throwing stuff at you, trying to get you off your game. See, that's what you always have to be ready as a catcher.
I know. I didn't think I could come this early in the morning.
How do you go about learning your staff, Cal? What's the best way? You're talking about these guys in the Cy Young Award conversation in there and in the categories that you want them to be in. I think you have something to do with that. How do you get to know your guys?
Yeah, luckily I was, I've got to come up to the system with some of these guys and, kind of learn some of their nuances and some of their little quirks. And, but, communication is the biggest thing. Trying to get on the same page, me, pitching coach, the pitching, the whole entire staff, and trying to be on the same page and communicate and kind of, try to get ahead of the curve on some of that stuff.
All right, you guys have played a lot of close games, and you're probably going to be that way the rest of the way, certainly in the postseason if you get there. 8 of the last 10 games, Cal, have been decided by 2 runs or fewer. What does that say about this club? Just keeping it tight, making sure that you're doing the right things to get the victory.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, all that matters is getting the win. It'd be nice to get a few more comfortable wins for sure, but a win's a win, and it speaks volumes to our bullpen, speaks volumes to our starting pitching, and I think the big thing that's kind of changed in the second half is the timely hitting. So, timely hitting, I think that's a big key in a lot of this as well.
Yeah, let's get some laughers thrown in there so you can take a breather. This has been one of the weirdest series I've seen between the Mariners and the Royals in the last 3 games. I really could have gone any way for either club, and here we are, you guys looking to win your 3rd, and they're trying to avoid losing 3 in a row. What have you made of this series? It's just been kind of strange. Obviously, the Royals, a team trying to rebuild, if you will, but it's been pretty wild.
Yeah, it seems like, the past 3 years coming here, it's always been some really weird, interesting ball games. No team's ever out of it here. I remember last year, I think we blew a 10-run lead, and but it's just it's crazy how you don't forget those things. But they're a dangerous team. They've been playing better baseball as of late. They got a lot of speed on the base pass. They got some guys in the lineup that can do some damage, and we're just trying to come out here and win each day, and we know it's not going to be easy, especially the way we play, and just trying to get it done.
All right, 2 more questions for you, Cal, before I let you go. King Felix was honored a couple of days ago. I know it was an emotional time for him. You mentioned coming up in the Mariners system. What was it like for you to kind of experience that day as he went into the Mariners Hall of Fame?
Yeah, it was super special. It's always, awesome to see, people achieving those kind of goals. And me and Logan Gilbert were at his last game in 2019. We came up there and we were kind of seeing some things, how it worked around the big leagues, and kind of just visiting. And we got to see the last game and how special it was, and it kind of got us really excited for what was to come in the future of Seattle. And it was just awesome to see how much Seattle fans really support their players and how much they really loved them.
How much did you enjoy that versus raising the number 12 flag at the stadium as football season gets ready to get kicked off here? I know you were able to do that, the 12th man. You're already a big superstar there in Seattle. What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I mean, I didn't think I'd ever do anything like that before in my life, and I was a little nervous raising the flag, and I had kind of a bump thumb at the time, so I was just trying to be careful about that, but try not to do anything make me look too stupid. So, but it was fun, and it was an experience I'll never forget. That's for sure.
You did not look stupid. Don't worry about it. And you're doing great things coming off the bench in the postseason with the bench pinch hit home runs. You're also doing big things, already getting your 50th home run in your career. Cal, thanks for taking a few moments to be with us. We really appreciate it. Best of luck today in that 4-game set.
Thanks for having me on.